Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I now call this meeting to order. Staff, we conduct roll call to establish that we have a quorum present.
Absolutely. Vice Chairman Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Parker,
Present.
Chairwoman Devers,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Echols.
Present.
We have a quorum, thank you.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioners, I will now entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda for this evening.
Commissioner Echols, I make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Smith, second the motion.
I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition signify by saying nay. The motion carries. Commissioners, I trust that you have reviewed the meeting minutes. If there are no questions or discussions, I will now entertain a motion to approve the regular minutes.
As Commissioner Jones put forth a motion to approval of the meeting minutes from the September 2024 meeting.
Commissioner Parker, second.
I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition signify by saying nay. The motion carries. I will now open the period for public comments. Please reserve your comments related to a specific agenda item when I call for a comment on that item. Comments of Planning and Zoning Commission should be limited to no more than 2 minutes. Groups wishing to address an issue should select 1 or 2 spokespersons. The time allowed for all issues should not exceed a total of 15 minutes. Issues raised at this time are generally referred to the Director of Planning and Zoning, to my left, for review. Responses will be provided at a later date. Old business. We do not have anything on the agenda under old business, so we'll move on to public hearing. We will have 2 public hearing items. Number 1, variance request from media. Staff, I will now ask you to present the staff analysis.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try to make this quick tonight. Thank you. So the first request that we're reviewing tonight is the primary variance for the reduction of the 1,000-foot electronic billboard to another billboard distance requirement at 0 Sonoya Road behind the 640 Sonoya Road Shopping Plaza, and the lot also fronts I-85. All right, so the site is currently zoned C2, which is general commercial, and the lot is also in the Highway 74 overlay district. The site is approximately 9.2 acres. This is what the site looks like today. They have included an accurate and up-to-date certified survey for the commission to review. All right, so the applicant is proposing to erect an electronic and/or digital billboard sign within 1,000 feet of another billboard. The applicant has stated that this is due to the road widening project by the Georgia Department of Transportation, GDOT, GDOT has taken some property from the applicant for said project, which according to the applicant has induced the need to erect an electronic digital billboard as their existing static or regular billboards are currently located on the property that GDOT has acquired. There are some considerations we have to take into account when reviewing this request. So the purpose and intent of the sign regulations are to encourage the effective use of signs as a means of communication in the city. Therefore, if relief is granted, the proposed erection would be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the sign regulations. This condition has been satisfied. This property does not have extraordinary and exceptional conditions because of its size, shape, or topography that would create unnecessary hardship for the owner while causing no detriment to the public. The applicant plans on erecting static or regular billboards in the same location if not approved. This condition has not been satisfied. This property does not suffer from any conditions resulting from existing foliage or structures, bringing about a hardship whereby a sign meeting minimum letter size, square footage, and height requirements cannot be read from an adjoining public road. Therefore, this condition has not been satisfied and is not applicable. If the Planning and Zoning Commission approves the variance request, staff recommends the following conditions. Number one, no further billboard, whether it be static, regular, electronic, digital, signs will be permitted on this parcel. Number two, any significant modifications as determined by staff to the proposed signage plan in regard to the 1,000-foot distance requirement of electronic/digital billboard to any other billboard on the same side of street frontage reduction would necessitate a further review by the Planning and Zoning Commission. I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now entertain questions for staff regarding the request.
So, one of my question was, what land, I knew that, GDOT was doing some things on Highway 74 in our commercial district corridor. Is my assumption, is this billboard, the current billboard, erected on 74 or erected on 85?
It fronts 85, I-85.
And so GDOT is taking land on 85 as well as 74? Is that
That's
what that?
true, that's correct.
That's been verified with GDOT, that's, okay. And then the second question for staff is, if they want to put this new billboard with this variance, does that mean that the existing billboard that's being seized by or eminent domain, whatever the legal term is, will be completely removed?
I believe that those billboards, and the applicant can speak more to this, I believe that those existing billboards were already removed because construction for that project is going to start very soon. So those billboards have already been removed.
Okay. That was my question for now. Other?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will now entertain a motion and a second to open the public comment period.
Commissioner Jones, motion to open the public comment period for this item.
Commissioner Smith, second.
I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor of opening the public comment period, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those in opposition signify by saying nay. The motion carries. I'll now hear from all those in favor of the application. First, will the applicant please come to the podium for a presentation?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. My name is Scott Peters, and I represent Outfront Media. With me this evening is Ms. Susan Fromm with Outfront. And if I could, I apologize. I tried to email these today, and I was a little late in getting these out, but I think these may help in your consideration if I can hand these out to you.
Thank you.
And as Mr. Felton indicated, this request for variance originated from the GDOT project at I-85 and Sonoya Road. And Outfront Media has historically maintained 3 billboards on this site. On the first sheet, you will see those. I tried to give you a larger image so you could see where these all are related. To the right, upper right-hand corner, you see a billboard that I've labeled remaining static. That is a billboard that Outfront has maintained and was not affected by the GDOT project, so that remains where it is as originally permitted. The 2 other signs that are shown, the one that's labeled proposed digital and the one labeled to be removed, those were both affected by the GDOT project, and both of those have been removed as we speak today. So all these photos I've given you, some of them, if you'll look, are dated last year because I wanted to give you images where you could see where they were. We have settled with GDOT, so that is not an issue. We have also applied for and obtained permits from the city of Fairburn to rebuild those signs, basically just moving them back out of the way. So that is what we would do if you deny the variance this evening. Our suggestion and our request is that rather than build back 2 signs, we build back a single sign and that it be digital. Digital signs are, I think, the trend in the industry, clearly. They provide much more value to both advertisers and the community. One of the things that Outfront does is they participate with GEMA and FEMA, so anytime there is a national emergency or a storm like we just had come through, if there are advertisements, information that needs to be displayed, they will partner with them to put those up. Obviously, that can be done on a digital, but not with a static. Similarly, they partner with GBI, FBI, and Georgia State Patrol. So when there is need for, Amber Alerts or other, most wanted information, that is displayed. The other thing it does, it gives a benefit, the availability to display public service messaging. A lot of times there will be open slots, and you can just by a click of a button put up an public service message where you can't go print a new advertisement, go out and post that for the few days while it might be available. So there are a lot of advantages to a digital sign, and we believe they are beneficial to the community as well. So you may ask, why are we asking for this variance? We have 3 signs there. Why can't we just spread these out and make it 1,000 feet? And that is what I tried to put on these other images for you as you look. If you go to the 3rd page, this is a view traveling northbound. And this is as you come under the bridge for Sonoya Road. And you will see that first sign on the left is the one that we're proposing to be removed, that's hidden by the trees. You'll see then further down the one that we show as proposed digital. That first sign is just too close to the overpass, and I also have with me the GDOT plans that I can share with you if you would like. And basically what they are doing is they're widening that interchange. They're going to put in a partial clover leaf. There's going to be some changes in elevation, and basically so anyone traveling northbound is just the length of time that anyone can see that first sign is just so short. It just doesn't work economically as a digital sign because obviously these signs are much more expensive to build, and you have a very expensive display up there as opposed to just the normal head. So that is why we cannot put it there. If you flip to the next page, you will see this is the picture traveling southbound. And you will see where I have remaining static just below that to the left, you'll kind of see part of a billboard sticking out there. That is the view southbound, and again, just the visibility of that sign is just not good enough to be able to have a digital on it. The problem we have under state law is, one of the options we thought of, and we wish we could do this, is put, the digital on one side facing, on one of the signs and the other facing the other side. Unfortunately, the department does not allow that. and those have to be 5,000 feet apart. So we could not split the digital faces. So what we are proposing to you is that we only end up with 2 signs. Under your ordinances, new digital signs can be constructed when 2 static signs are removed, so there's a net loss of 1. That would be the situation here. We would surrender the 2 static permits that we have, not construct those, and just have the single digital at the location as we've proposed, which is about 530 feet from the remaining static sign, which is the basis for which we're asking for the variance. And I'd be happy to answer any questions any of you may have.
Thank you. Is there anyone else speaking in favor of the applicant? If so, please make your way to the podium. Now we'll hear from all those in opposition of the applicant. Thank you. I will now entertain a motion and a second to close the public comment period.
Commissioner Smith, make a motion to close the public comment.
Commissioner Parker, second.
I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor of the closing the public comment period, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition signify by saying nay. The motion carries. Commissioners, now is your time to ask questions of staff, the applicant, and members of the public.
So this is Commissioner Jones' question for the applicant. So we're going from 3 to 2, and the reason that your firm doesn't want to do, we think digital is the wave of the future, is due to that 5,000 foot. So there's just not enough room to take all 3 down and then put 2 digital. Is that kind of the
That
thought
would-
process?
Effectively, what we would have to do is take down all 3 signs to come back with the 1 digital.
Gotcha.
And that is just
Sure.
not what we want to
Okay.
do. From an economic standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. We would come back with the 3 static.
Gotcha. But it is, okay, it's going from 3 signs to 2. Okay, just wanted to,
Correct.
all right, perfect, thank you. That was my only question.
And certainly, we would agree to the condition that was discussed of no additional billboards on the property, et cetera, to make sure that that is always complied with.
I now have a motion and a second.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Jones. I make a motion, make sure I get this right, to approve the variance for the applicant Outfront Media with the following conditions: that 1, no further billboard will be permitted on this parcel, and that 2, any significant modifications determined by staff to the proposed signage plan would necessitate a further review by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Commissioner Smith, second that motion.
I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition signify by saying nay. The motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Item number 2, variance request from Vida Fairburn Development, property location 0 Senoia Road. Staff, I understand the applicant has withdrawn the request.
That's correct.
I will now entertain a motion to approve the withdrawal request.
Commissioner Echols, I make a motion that variance withdrawal request for Vida Fairburn Development, parcel ID 09 F020300800267 be approved.
Commissioner Parker, second.
So I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition signify by saying nay. The motion carries. We will now move into the new business portion of the agenda. Our first item of new business is as follows. Tax amendment, future land use amendment, applicant Letitia McCoy requests to allow for the permitted use of automobile brokerage offices. Now, I will now ask you to present the analysis and the recommendation.
Thank you. Hello again, Commissioners. So this is the second and final request for tonight. We're going to be reviewing the text amendments and make a recommendation to the Mayor and City Council on amendments to Chapter 80, which is zoning, Article 2, zoning districts, Division 2, district regulations, Section 80, which is office and institutional zoning district, subsection C, permitted uses. All right, so the applicant, Letitia McCoy, is proposing to let a tenant of one of her office suites at 101 West Campbellton Street, which is zoned office and institutional O&I, to operate an automobile brokerage office for administrative purposes only. There will be no automobiles on site at any time in reference to the business except staff's and clients' personal automobiles. Any use related to automobiles can be challenging to the surrounding neighbors. If not properly managed, even if the use is for administrative purposes only, to protect the neighbors from any unnecessary hardships, several supplemental regulations have been recommended to address any future issues that may arise as a result of this permitted use. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend conditional approval to the Mayor and City Council for amendments to Chapter 80 zoning, Article 2 zoning districts, Division 2 district regulations, Section 80 O&I office institutional zoning district, subsection C permitted uses, with the conditions that there will be no automotive maintenance or work done on site. All activities shall be carried on entirely within an enclosed building. There will be no outdoor storage. There will be no automobiles on site at any time in reference to the permitted use, with the exception of personal automobiles of staff and clients. I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now entertain questions for staff regarding the request. Commissioners, now is your time to ask questions of the applicant. If there are no additions, commissioners, proceed with your question.
Commissioner Jones, just to confirm, maybe this is for staff, and hello, how are you?
Good evening, everyone.
This is just a portion in this office complex where an entity, I believe in the state of Georgia, you have to have a physical location to be considered an auto broker. And this would just be the office where they would do paperwork and things like that. And there's, again, no cars being sold, no cars being stored, no cars being appraised, right? Just an office. And the reason for this variance, just due to all the different laws and zoning things that have to do just with automobiles in general. Is this why this type of thing comes before us? Is that an accurate statement? That's for staff.
I would say yes, it is, but this is a text amendment.
Okay.
So this application will not only just affect the applicant, but also any business within the city limits of Fairburn.
Okay. And this would just apply to auto brokers being allowed to be in an office building?
Yes, being allowed in the office institutional zoning district,
Okay.
permitted use.
Okay, thank you.
No questions?
If there are no additional questions, I will now call this item to a vote. May I have a motion of recommendation to the mayor and city council regarding this agenda item?
Commissioner Jones, recommend approval for this text amendment to mayor and council with the additional, I guess, requirements based upon planning and zoning.
Commissioner Smith, second.
I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition signify by saying nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Staff, any updates?
Next month, we plan on having quite a few items on the agenda, so I would just kind of brace yourself for that. And we do have, because of the pending election, I'm recommending that, or if you guys are open to it, moving the date for the meeting. That's okay?
Commissioner?
To what? To where? To,
Wednesday works for you?
oh,
Wednesday, the next day?
hold on.
Okay. Would Wednesday work for everybody? Okay. We can do that. Don't want anybody driving fast, trying to get here, and, but yeah.
We'll talk about,
Okay.
we'll finalize it and follow up with you all.
Okay.
We'll talk about, there's some things I think we need to discuss first.
Okay.
So
But
you will follow up,
It may be on the 5th.
or it could be the next
But
week, it
I'll-
could be,
right,
okay.
but we'll follow up.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Any more updates?
No updates, no additional updates?
Nothing regarding the Fairburn Festival that you want to share, or?
No, just show up, have a good time, all that kind of good stuff. There's a lot of time and energy. Big shout out to our Parks and Rec department. They've been working long hours to make sure everything goes smooth and safe, and everybody has a good time. So expect everybody to show up and have a good time. Bring everybody.
Bring everybody.
Commissioners, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Commissioner Smith, make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Commissioner Echols, second.
I now have a motion and a second, so I will call the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.